What if I told you that one of the greatest golden ages in European history came not from a rising power, but from an empire that had already lost two-thirds of its territory? In 565, the Byzantine Empire spanned the Mediterranean. By 700, it was a rump state clinging to survival. By 1000, it was thriving again. And this is the story of the Byzantine Golden Age, and why decline doesn't have to be permanent. To understand how this Golden Age happened, we need to zoom out and see the full arc. Byzantine history from the 6th to 11th century follows four distinct phases, and each one sets up the next. In Phase 1, expansion. Under Emperor Justinian, the empire reached its greatest extent. By his death in 565, Byzantine territory stretched from Spain to Syria, encompassing North Africa, Italy, the Balkans, Anatolia, and Egypt. This was a credible attempt to restore the full Roman Mediterranean. It was enormous, it was ambitious, and it was the high water mark. Phase 2 came fast. Within a century of Justinian's death, the empire lost Syria, Egypt, North Africa, and most of the Balkans, conquered by Arab armies and Slavic migrations. What remained was Anatolia, fragments of Italy, a few islands, and Constantinople itself. This wasn't a gentle decline. Constantinople was besieged in 674 and again in 717. The empire came within a generation of total extinction. Phase 3, reconstruction, is what saved it. The empire reinvented itself. The same system tied land grants to military service, creating a self-funding defense network. Revenue was restructured. Borders were stabilized. The empire stopped trying to be Rome and started being something new. The Reconstruction era also coincided with iconoclasm, a bitter internal debate over whether religious images should be used in worship. It divided the empire for over a century. In 843, the controversy was settled in favor of icons. 843 didn't just end a religious dispute, it marked the moment the empire stopped fighting itself and started growing again. This is Phase 4, the Golden Age. So what did this Golden Age actually look like? Between 843 and 1019, the empire grew by roughly 1/3, and the recoveries were specific, strategic, and hard-won. In the east, Byzantine armies recaptured Antioch, one of the great cities of the ancient world, and pushed the frontier deep into the Armenian highlands. In the Mediterranean, Cyprus and Crete were retaken from Islamic forces, securing vital sea lanes. In the west, all of mainland Greece and the Peloponnese were fully reintegrated, territories that had been effectively lost to Slavic settlement for centuries. And in the north, the Bulgars, who had besieged Constantinople twice and built a powerful rival state, were definitively defeated by Emperor Basil II in 1019. Each recovery strengthened the whole. The empire didn't just get bigger, it got more connected, more defensible, and more prosperous with each gain. Now here's the counterintuitive part. Compare this empire to Justinian's. Justinian's realm was vast, Mediterranean spanning, but it was overextended, fiscally draining, and impossible to defend on all fronts. Crisis hit within decades of his death. The Golden Age empire was a fraction of that size, but it was compact, centered on Anatolia and the Balkans, logistically coherent, and could actually fund its military. Its revenue system worked, its borders made strategic sense, and it lasted, stable and powerful, for roughly 200 years. Smaller was stronger. The empire also produced a cultural efflorescence, a revival of classical education, stunning artistic achievement, and the elaborate court ceremony that dazzled every foreign visitor to Constantinople. The comparison crystallizes in the details. Justinian's empire was too large to hold. The Golden Age empire's key vulnerability was different. It depended on the Anatolian heartland for taxes and soldiers. As long as Anatolia held, the empire thrived. Justinian's cultural legacy gave us Hagia Sophia and the Corpus Juris. The Golden Age Empire produced an educational revival, artistic masterworks, and ceremonial splendor that defined Byzantine civilization for centuries. But the Golden Age didn't last forever, and that's part of the lesson too. In 1071, the Seljuk Turks, a Turkic people from Central Asia who had recently converted to Islam and were expanding westward, defeated the Byzantine army at the Battle of Manzikert. That single battle cracked open Anatolia, the empire's heartland and the tax base. Turkish settlers poured in, the revenue system collapsed. The long, slow decline that followed would end only in 1453, when Constantinople itself fell to the Ottoman Turks. The Byzantines didn't survive by luck. They survived by making hard choices, defining borders they could defend, rebuilding institutions from scratch, and accepting that they would never be Justinian's empire again. That acceptance is exactly what made the Golden Age possible. The four-phase arc, the expansion, crisis, reconstruction, Golden Age, isn't unique to Byzantium. It's a pattern. The next time you hear that a nation or institution is in decline, ask, are they in phase 2 or phase 3? The Byzantines showed us that the difference between collapse and the Golden Age is what you do with the crisis,